Hello everybody. Welcome back to the channel where we talk about stuff. The three letters that have dominated the cryptocurrency space for the last 10 years are back in the news. We've been getting, and I'm glad that even despite price declines and all the other nonsense that was happening for the last couple of weeks, that we only continuously get really good news. A lot of you may have missed the other videos. Whales, rich people, are still accumulating massive amounts of Bitcoin. This isn't actually stopping. The news that we were getting, maybe around even 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, it always keeps doing it. It always does that shut off thing. It's very weird. Days ago were basically that the inflows to the US ETFs for Bitcoin had slowed down. And even the slowed down numbers were still 1, 2, or 3x the amount of Bitcoin that was actually being mined in a day. So it was like, oh no, we're not doing 13x anymore. How terrible. All the Bitcoin still disappearing. We had news as well of the Hong Kong ETFs launching, which people also tried to pretend wasn't something absolutely incredible, as they had, I think, $111 million in assets under management, I think, on the first day or something like that. And then we also heard that they were buying up, I think, 113 Bitcoin and all these other things. And I think cumulatively, one of the ETF issuers, no, there's three of them all together, that they had purchased an entire day's worth of Bitcoin being mined and also thousands of Ether. We also recently had news as well that Singapore is also trying to gain access to the, I think, Hong Kong ETFs. One of the linings of the Hong Kong ETFs is that the rumors are that apparently people within China are also going to be able to access them as well. I don't know if this is true or not, simply because we keep hearing the news, but there's also sometimes the exact opposite that ends up getting into the news, and I'm not there, so I don't know if I can access them, what have you. But the idea is that other countries within Asia, without having to launch their own, would have access to the ones in Hong Kong, and this is where we're getting the Singaporean news as well. Once again, the three letters are back in the news, as we are now hearing that Australia is actually going to be launching their own spot Bitcoin ETFs. I don't think the word Ethereum is in here. The most other countries, the way that they've worked is that they tend to launch a Bitcoin and an Ether one at the exact same time. It's once again only the US SEC who is causing a problem. As far as, like, instead of just launching everything at once, they make sure that everything takes a very long time. Apparently, it's going to be a collaborative effort between Van Eck, Beta Shares Holdings Pty, and ASX Limited. It says, which dominates around 80% of the country's equity trading, is apparently expected to greenlight a spot Bitcoin ETF. And they say sometime by the end of this year. We've had this news multiple times. I don't know what the reasoning behind the delay could actually be. And I mean delay is like, why not right now? Why not by summer? But we've heard a lot of other times before from other countries. They tend to say we're going to do X, Y, and Z by the end of the year. That could mean October. That could mean in 6 weeks from now. But yeah, while we had... And we always have these. If this is your first time here in the market, if you've been here for just about 6, 7 months, and you've only been experiencing the euphoric movements of the prices and the markets moving up, and now you see that sometimes they're down, and sometimes they're downer, and sometimes they're upper, things kind of like that is all part of the market cycle. I've noticed that a lot of people within the cryptocurrency space, as the cryptocurrency space has a very, very low barrier of entry, compared to other market classes. A lot of people is usually their first time in finance, not knocking it, not making fun of you. It's more of it just usually ends up being how it is. Crypto is a lot easier to understand than stocks, or the idea of a security, a commodity, the SEC, and all these other things. You simply see the coin that you want and you kind of jump into it. But a lot of people, when they jump into the cryptocurrency market, what ends up happening is that they've only heard about the cryptocurrency market on the news, if it's either doing absolutely terrible or if it's doing extremely well over the course of a 3-year period, and they feel like they miss out, they get into the market and you kind of like experience what the market is actually like. So for a lot of new people who are new here, have only been here for a year or some change, what have you, when you see the market going down, or I've experienced that when I see people seeing the market going down, a bit of depression ends up entering the space and they kind of go, well, you know, maybe it's over. So I make sure to bring you the news to let you understand that no, it's not over, and that rich people are buying. Rich people, for those of you who don't know, they buy when prices are up, they buy when prices are down. It's only always a win-win for them. If prices are up, it's because they're expecting the asset to continue going higher, so they're buying it at that time. If the asset's value goes down and they have expectations or know in their charts that the price is going to go back up, they're buying it just at an extra discount. So if you've been paying attention to all the news that we've been getting over the course of, forever, even when prices have been down the last couple of 3 weeks or so, we are constantly getting whales buying news, new ETFs launching, a ton of extra interest also moving within this space. But I think a lot of times people get hung up on the idea of that the market has to always, exceptionally, every single day be outperforming every other thing. You know that most other asset classes tend to have like a yearly return of like maybe 5%, 7%. Like if you own real estate that has gone up by like 7% in a year in value, you have, even now, you've outpaced inflation. You know, this goes upon the normal 1% to 2% levels of inflation. A lot of people being in the cryptocurrency market and seeing that their portfolios have tripled in value in a year, and then it goes down by 4%, and they're like, oh, I guess it's over. And it's like, no, we're doing exceptionally fine. There's a lot of things that are going to be launching this year. It is still only May. The expectation is still very high for the market, especially around summertime. The Bitcoin halving has taken place. If you notice the news, every day is always some kind of good news, something new launching. There would be a red flag, a gigantic one, like waving in the sky. If while prices had dropped, we hadn't heard from Singapore and from Hong Kong and from Australia and from Canada and from Germany, and also the expectation of other ETFs also from other coins launching within the United States. But no, as prices dipped in the past, we're still seeing a huge amount of activity happening. And a lot of those price predictions, the analysts still stick by them. I don't bring them anymore because, once again, everyone keeps saying the same number. For those of you who don't know, every analyst within the space is expecting a $100,000 to a $150,000 Bitcoin sometime over the course of this year. So yeah, Australia is also going to have their own spot Bitcoin exchange traded funds. Those companies will be also buying physical, I know it's digital, Bitcoin as well. And it's going to reshape the entirety of the world's economy as more of these things keep popping up. And then when Bitcoin ends up going back up and goes back over $100,000, yeah, it only means more people around the world are going to have access to this securitized version of BTC. Yeah, I do hope that you've all enjoyed this constantly good news that's continuously popping up over the last 8 years. Hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.